Hello and welcome. My name is Eric Dowdy. I'm the Executive Vice President here at Leading Age California. I want to welcome you to our first issue or episode of Capital Updates. I'd like to update you on a few things going on in Sacramento, some key areas that you'll be wanting to take note of, both with the May revise and the state budget update, as well as some key legislative activity. So to begin, on this Tuesday, the governor released his May revise, which is basically a revised budget proposal from his January budget based on new tax receipts and new information coming in that does have some policy implications for our members. Overall, the budget is about $8 billion in additional revenues and proposes $4 billion in increased general fund spending above the January proposal. There's a big focus on homelessness in this particular May revise. About $359 million in new spending on homelessness and around mental health funding as well. Also in the May revise, there's a new proposal for No Place Like Home. You may have remembered something like this in a previous budget. That initiative was passed, however, it was never funded. So the governor is proposing to put that on the budget or on the ballot this November. It would raise about $2 billion worth of funding for mental health services for counties. There'll be a 3-year pilot of this with counties with matching funds, and this should bring more money for things like utility assistance, rental assistance, housing repairs, and landlord mediation and case management. That's something our members might be able to take advantage of. We'll see how it fares on the November ballot. Okay, next up, I'd like to talk about key legislation that's going on right now in Sacramento. AB 3098 is our sponsored bill, our co-sponsored bill, that would require all RCFEs to provide drills and disaster planning preparedness in the communities. The bill has gotten very good reception here in Sacramento. There's been no votes, so we expect to see that on the consent calendar. And if you want more information on what the bill includes, please contact me or Jed Hampton. We'd be happy to send you a copy of the bill. AB 3088, this is a bill sponsored by the California Continuing Care Resident Association. This is the bill we've been talking a lot about that would require actuary studies to be conducted on all CCRCs across the state every 5 years. We have problems with the bill. We've been talking to both the sponsors and the author's office. There have been some amendments that have been made. However, we'd like to make more. The bill has made it successfully through the Assembly. We expect it to also not have a lot of opposition in the Senate. We are talking to the Department of Social Services and the administration about our concerns, which seem to have made some headway in hearing our side of the bill. Next, I'd like to talk about a new issue that just sprung up this week regarding a lawsuit that was involving SEIU and the Department of Public Health. It required the department to release addresses of record for several classifications of nursing home workers, including CNAs, certified hemodialysis technicians, and licensed nursing home administrators. This is all an attempt to do some unionization work. The department has allowed people who are in these classifications to change their address to a different, maybe not a home address. However, we were just notified about this within the last day or so, so we don't think there's a whole lot of information out there available. We're still researching the issue, but we do encourage you to update your address of record if you do not want that to be disclosed to SEIU. So we'll have more information on this in future updates. And the next issue I'd like to talk about is a ruling that was just announced on Tuesday dealing with aid in dying. As you know, the aid in dying legislation was passed during a special session, which was really kind of under the radar for a lot of health advocates and people working on the issue. A judge in Riverside has found that this approach during basically passing the bill during a special session that was not tied to specifically aid in dying, that was not legal. The Attorney General has said that he will be appealing this. He has 5 days to do so. But I don't know that this is actually going to overturn the aid in dying law, but it is kind of an unexpected twist in the story of aid in dying in California. So we'll have more on that in future issues as well. And then finally, I'd like to talk about some events and some resources we have for Leading Age California members. So all of our affordable housing members, you're invited to participate in our Affordable Senior Housing Resident Advocacy Day. That's a mouthful, but we like to call it ASHRAD. It'll be here in Sacramento on June 6th at the Sheraton. We'd love to see a lot of resident participation. If you're interested in signing up, contact me or Jesus Mata in our office, and we can get you registered. And then finally, I want to let you know about technical assistance briefs that we have available on our website. We have about 10 of those now, and they really come from our communications, troubleshooting issues with members that are basically there for everyone to use. You learn from the wisdom of those that have gone before you. Brenda Klutz has authored many of those, as well as the other policy staff. Really well researched documents that you can just download and have at your disposal on a variety of topics. Some of those include the changes to the federal requirements of participation, the End of Life Options Act, which I was just talking about. There's a guide sheet on that, as well as other information as in like SB 219 dealing with LGBT training requirements. All that's available for you. Just see our website at www.leadingageka.org, and you will find them there. Well, thank you for joining us for this inaugural episode of Capital Update. We hope to have a lot more information for you in future issues. We will be talking more about legislation post the appropriations deadline on our next episode, so stay tuned. I think Jed Hampton may even be making an appearance, so hope to see you then.